Peace, peace. It's Brother Faheem, and you are now tuned in to the Lead with Logic podcast. You know the vibes. Peace, peace, y'all. This is Brother Faheem, and I am your most gracious and humble host. And you are now tuned into another episode of the Lead with Logic podcast. Listen, y'all, listen. We got a great special treat for you guys today. Man, it's gonna be another epic interview. We just having so much fun, man, having so many beautiful people, so many beautiful interviews. I have someone that's very near and dear to my heart.
Hi,
Miss, what's going on, Miss Shar Blair? Listen, I
how
want to
are
give you
you?
guys gotta give her a proper ado, gotta give her a proper introduction. So guess what, y'all? She's from Albion, Michigan, 10 plus years in the medical industry, 5 plus years as an entrepreneur. She was featured in Voyage Atlanta in June 24, right? She had her own feature exploring life and business with Chartney Blair of Blaircare. Recently, just this month, y'all, she was on Business Radio X, right? And the title was so dope, from CNA to CEO. Man, and last but not least, this is my beloved neighbor, y'all. This this is my neighbor. So what's going on, Shaw? How you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Listen, it is it's great to see you. And first, let me say thank you so much because I know you're a busy lady. I know you're always moving and grooving, shaking and baking. So for you to, just carve out a little time to be with me and the people, man, I really appreciate it. Listen, y'all, with all my guests, I always have a personal connection, not just interviewing them, but I know them in a capacity. And with Shar, two things I want to mention, man. I was if you guys follow my Instagram, Lead with Logic, you know that a lot of times I put different topics up there. I put different things to really incite and motivate thought. And recently, as I get older, as we all get older, Shar, you know this, you start to become more and more aware of health. And I have been putting a whole lot on health. And so I put up a short of a doctor in Boston, Indian guy from India, and I sent it to Shar, right? I sent her the clip. And he was talking about fasting and natural remedies. And Shar was like, yeah, natural remedies are great. We talking in the background. And I'm like, yeah, because I'm thinking like I'm telling her about how the mainstream, it depends heavily on, the pharmaceutical industry and the drugs and that healthcare. And she was like, you're right, because we actually need them both. We need the natural remedies, and we also can use the pharmaceutical. We can use the mainstream. And I was like, damn, she's right. And I thought to myself at that point, I'm like, what am I doing? Shar has her own business. She's super intelligent. And I always see her. I need to have her on my show. That's the first story. The second thing, like I said, Shar is my neighbor. So oftentimes, Shar just be chilling, resting, winding down on her back porch, and I'll be on my back porch chilling, and I'll go out there, and I'll be like, "Hey, neighbor, I can see her," and we'll be talking and whatnot. And man, she's just always such a pleasant. If you've ever met Shar, you know what I'm talking about. Super pleasant, super humble, super down to earth and approachable. So I had to say that, Shar. I had to give you your flowers right there.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
So listen, we're gonna do it like we do everybody. Let's get
Right.
into it. Hey,
Yeah.
listen, tell us a little bit about your background, Shar, being from Albion, Michigan. You know what I'm saying? Tell us about
Mhm.
home, coming up, you know what I'm saying? A little bit about your family, all that good stuff.
Okay. So, born and raised in Albion, Michigan, small town, small. Like, we had one hospital, one McDonald's. Like, it's super small. So everyone knew everybody. Everybody. Everybody's related. One of those kind of towns. I love being from a small town because it's like it's a community. Everybody's making sure everyone's good. But I knew I wanted to leave and see what was out there. So I went to college, and then I ended up moving to Georgia. I had lived here a few times as a youth, but I ended up coming back and um, got my nursing degree. And I was working, and I was like, you know what? I knew I always wanted to start a business, but I was like, now is the time. So I started, thinking of ideas, what I wanted to do, and I was like, what do I enjoy doing? And I had worked as a CNA in college to help me through school. And I actually loved it. A lot of people told me, don't do that. You're not going to like it. But I actually enjoyed it. And so I was like, I want to do something in that capacity in the healthcare field. So that's how Blaircare was born. So,
Man, that is awesome. And listen, I had to do my little research on you, Shar, before we did the show. I, listened to the interview. I read The Voyage Atlanta, and I saw where they asked you on there, what were your fondest memories? And this is a great segue. It goes into what we're talking about. I always ask people, who were those family members that really uh, motivated them? What was the thing that motivated them? Because oftentimes we become what we see, right, y'all? And
mm,
so something inside of us inspires us, right? So I saw where Shar said her grandmother, one of her fondest memories was being with her grandmother. And she didn't like to get up, but it instilled that work ethic inside of her. And so it takes a special breed. So did you like caring for when you were a kid? Were you the kid, Shar, when you were your grandmother's grandchild to be like, I got you, grandma. Here go your medicine. You know what I'm saying? And it made you feel a certain type of way. Was that you, Shar?
it was. And I didn't even realize it. Like, I was a caring person, always making sure everyone was good. Like, even in my group of friends, we would have parties and I would be making sure everybody's good. I would get my enjoyment from making sure everybody was taken care of. And I didn't realize it, like, because I didn't want to go into nursing. Believe it or not, I thought I was going to be a physical therapist. Looking
Mm,
back, I probably would have been bored as a therapist. Nursing was my passion. That was my calling. So it's right where I needed to be. So yeah, I would say caring for people is just something I grew up with. My grandmother, especially my Granny Mitchell, she would have get-togethers, feeding the whole neighborhood. I mean, you hungry, you can come in. So seeing that a lot, and just seeing my grandmother's nurture and care for people that helped
that
shape
is
me.
That is awesome. It sounds like Shar, you were able to gain your purpose early from what I'm
Mm,
hearing. Like because like you said, you went into a field where many people told you don't do it, but you were like,
yes.
you know what, I'm gonna try it anyway. And also, I saw I listened on the Business Radio X where you said you went into a lot of different things. You said you wanted to be a superstar. What do you mean, Shar? You said I want to be a superstar first, then I want to be a doctor, and then I was like, nah. What do you mean a superstar? What we talking about, Shar?
So when I was younger, I thought I was gonna be a singer. I thought I could sing. I realized I could not sing. I, I thought I wanted to be famous, and as I got older, I realized I didn't want to be famous. I wanted to be successful.
Ooh,
So
ooh.
yeah, I was like, I don't want what comes with that. I knew I wanted to be successful. Successful. It's just my thought process was always different than my surroundings. I can
I,
honestly say.
I see that, Shar. So
Yeah.
tell me about your family. We heard a little bit about grandma, mom, and dad. What were they like? Were they supportive of you in your efforts? Did they, you know what I mean? A lot of times when kids like yourself have that passion so early, typically, you it's either one or two things. Either their parents are driving them, like the Jacksons, you got Joe and Kathleen who are telling them, like, okay, well, this is our regiment, or their children like 50 Cent that have gone without, right? Who a parent is not there and they feel like, okay, I gotta do this on my own. What kind of you had your parent? How were your parents? How did they help shape you, Shar?
Honestly, I think it was a mixture of both. I was blessed to have a blended family. So I had,
Ah,
my dad's side, my mom, and then my stepdad's side. So just seeing different aspects of how people lived. I think it was just honestly both, having some part of absent parent, and then as I got older, our bond got better and our relationship got better, and then having parents that were there. So I think it was a combination of both, honestly.
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Now, you guys notice the healthcare industry getting in, like when you talking about like being a doctor, being a nurse, that shit ain't easy.
Oh no.
It's a lot of math, it's a lot of science. I think it's more science than anything, but science ain't no easy subject. I always tell people, y'all, if you want to see the best students at any school, it's they're going to be real good in two subjects, math and science.
Yep.
That's where you're going to find your top. It's no coincidence your top students are good at math and science.
It's true.
So Shaw, what kind of student was Chartney? Were you clowning? I know you were the carefree, you were the nurturer, so to speak. But when it came to your studies, how were you?
I was an honor student, actually.
I knew it.
Yeah, I was an honor student. I was in honor classes, but it wasn't by choice. My mom was like, because she knew my ability. Honestly, I was an A student, an all A student, but I was not putting that type of time in. So I was like A's and B's, I could do that. Um, Honor student, but I was a cool kid too. I was cool with the cool kids, so I kind of got the best of both worlds. Um, but yeah, I was definitely an honor student. I love math.
See, and
Yeah.
see, and that makes sense because what you're doing, uh, it's laden in science and math, like the anatomy and the physiology. Even I'm sure being a CNA, like I'm sure that even had its challenges when you went into that program. I'm pretty sure that wasn't an easy program, was it, Shar?
It wasn't. It was like it was a month course I took at Baker. I had just transferred. And it was tough because coming from a small town, I didn't have to apply myself as much to get good grades. It was
Oh
really,
wow.
yeah, I can honestly say. So when I went to college, it was kind of a shock. I felt like, at first I thought, oh, my high school didn't prepare me. And it was just like, no, I was just used to doing kind of the bare minimum to get good grades. So when I
Get
went to
by,
college,
right.
oh, I really got to study. I really got to take the time and sit down and do stuff. So it was the first like year and a half of college. It was a little shocking.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure. I'm sure it was. I'm sure, but you got through it though.
I got
Listen,
through it. I got
yeah,
through
you
it.
did. Listen, who were who were like some of your role models that you saw? Mentorship is so important to people, especially to a fragile child trying to figure out who they are and their way in the world. Can you point to anybody, whether it be a family member, a parent, a real trusted mentor that really meant something special to you, that you can really give credit to, helping you, maybe not physically there, but something that they put inside of you, Shar, that you still keep with you today? Can you have anybody like that?
I would say my parents and my grandmother, but it was one particular thing. I had a cousin. She was like the bossiest cousin I knew. She had a Hummer, super popular, and I was like, I'm gonna be like that. I'm gonna be fly like that. I remember thinking to myself, that's what I want. Always, always, I wanted the biggest, the latest. So I was like, I looked up to her. But yeah, my parents for sure. Having a blended family, you see different aspects of things, like the good and the bad, what you want to be like, and also what you don't want to be like.
But you don't.
So
Absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
I can honestly
Ab-
say it was a village. It took a village. Yeah, for
Wow,
sure.
that is awesome. Listen, something else that you said that I thought was interesting. You said that you loved working as a CNA, but it really didn't have a potential for growth. So that
Mhm.
tells me you've always been ambitious, y'all. Shaw has always had an internal ambition, which these are all things, you guys. Um, these are all things that y'all are gonna see in the makeup of an entrepreneur, right? When you read certain stories, like if you take a superhero, there's a formula for a superhero. There's
Mhm.
always something tragic that happens to them in the beginning. They gain their powers, and then they have to, for the rest of their life, they're always trying to compensate or make sure that what happened to them in the beginning doesn't happen going forward, and they help other people in the process. And so it sounds the same with the entrepreneurs that I'm interviewing, like Char. You know what I'm saying? Char was ambitious. And so that is wonderful. That ambition, how has it now? How does it help you, Char? How does that ambition, not just stopping with CNA? How do you carry that over into? How'd you? Well, let me say it like this: how'd you carry it over into once you got into nursing? How did you say, okay, I want to go farther, and then maybe in your healthcare business, how do you apply that ambition? If that makes sense.
Yeah, so nursing probably is one of the hardest things I've done. I've been a
Ooh,
nurse a few times and it's not easy. It's not easy by
yeah.
it's discipline. It's not hard, but you have to be disciplined. You have to be willing to not spend time with your family and friends. And
Mm, mm,
so I wasn't used to studying and taking a test and still not doing good. Like the amount of time and studying
mm.
that goes into nursing. So I think that helped shape me. Like if I can do this, I can do anything.
I know that's right.
Yeah, and then when I worked during COVID in New York, and that was that was one of the most difficult things I've done. So I was like, you know, it was no limit. After that, I was like, I can do anything I set my mind to, honestly. But I've always felt like that. I've always felt like that.
Absolutely, absolutely. Listen, tell me about some of your fonder jobs when you once you I know you said you were worked at a bunch of different nursing homes.
Oh yeah.
Uh and you liked the shower. How was that? What was that experience like? Because I can't imagine working with them old people. I imagine they were probably funny, you know what I'm saying, and
I love them.
clowning.
Yeah, I love 'em. They straight shooters. They gonna tell you how it is, and it's like having a history book right in front of you. Like they have so much knowledge. So,
Wow.
um, I've worked at nursing homes that were like 5 star, and then I've worked at nursing homes that were 1 star.
Mm,
And I just knew once I had my business, I was like, it's a lot of things that I would do different. Um, you see the nursing homes that are in like the not best areas.
yes.
They don't have a lot of resources.
Mm,
It's sad, but I just knew because when I moved to Georgia, I took a pay cut as a nurse.
sure.
So I worked in different areas trying to make up for that pay difference, and I seen what I liked and what I didn't like, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do something different in my business. So
I know that's right.
yeah.
Shar, is it true what they say? I've always equated the nursing homes like school. Like when you have kids, the children who don't have advocacy from parent, they don't have family presence there, they don't always get treated the best. You see what I'm saying? Like if little Johnny get in trouble and we know his dad is and his mom or even one of them is gonna be there acting crazy, we gonna
Hmm.
make sure we figure this out because we don't want to deal with little Johnny's mama and we definitely don't want to deal with his dad.
That's exactly how it's like,
Yeah. Wow.
and you know what though? I think because I've worked in those facilities, I think it's not so much of they want to neglect your loved one, is they're stretched thin. Like they have 20, 30, 40 patients. How can you take care of every single one and give them the attention they need with that many patients? So it's more of like a resource thing. They need more staff and people don't want to work. I mean, I don't know if people don't want to work. Let me not say that, but
I'm with
um
you.
it's just the
It's a
ratio.
shortage.
Yeah, it's a shortage. It's a shortage, exactly. So if we know that Sally's mother's gonna be there at 10 a.m., guess what? They're gonna make sure she's up, cleaned, and ready to go before she gets there because they know
Amen.
they don't want to hear her mouth.
That's
So
right.
yeah,
That's right.
it's exactly like that.
That is so right. So at what point, Shar, after doing all of these things with the working in the nursing homes, that you said to yourself, you know what? Not only do I want to do something different, but I want to go off on my own. How long was it when you were after working in the because you worked at some hospitals too, correct?
Hmm.
How long after working at these? I'm sorry, after working at these hospitals and working at the nursing homes, what point did you say, okay, I'm ready to have my own. I'm ready to do for myself.
I thought that before I started, but it kind of put the battery in my back once I seen like how these facilities would do their staff. It was just like you're replaceable, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna be my own boss. Not realizing when you become your own boss, all your clients are your bosses. But that just put the battery in my back to get off work and work on my business a little bit at a time until it was up and running. So
Yeah, listening to your Business Radio X interview, it made me realize, yeah, when you're an entrepreneur, you trade in the corporate boss for the clientele. They become your boss, and it's a segue. Char, you did a lot of research into what you were doing. Shar is a don't let the pretty face fool you, y'all. Shar is a mogul. When you read, I'm gonna show you guys. We're gonna get into it. I'm gonna show you her website and her articles and her her Instagram. But Shar really she did a bunch of work before she actually stepped off the porch, so to speak. You did a bunch of research and
yeah.
I like what no, excuse me, I love what I read because you said like she's talking about in the nursing homes, in the hospital, hey, you're replaceable. Hey, they're not taking care. What did well, you said, Shar, you said, I'm going to make sure that I look for the holes, but I'm going to do it different. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, so what did you find, Shar, was different? What did you find that made you structure home healthcare the way it's structured?
Caring about your employees. That's step one. If you feel like they care,
Wow,
they're going to stay. So they're not going to jump from facility to facility.
that's
Um,
right.
and paying above, I pay my caregivers above what's the average.
Mm.
'Cause you could pay the bare minimum, but you're going to get bare minimum
Their
work.
minimum product. That's right.
Yeah, so you got to, I mean, they're doing the work. Why wouldn't you want to make sure they're okay and able to pay their bills? So that's how I look at it. And people say your bottom line, your bottom line. Yeah, that's important too. But if you don't have any employees, you don't have a business. So
That's right.
pay them people. That's what I say. Pay them what they worth. Especially you get people that come in, they have years of experience. That's gonna save you money with training. So pay them what they worth.
Wow. What about on the healthcare? I love that because that sounds like that's on the business side, right? Working with the employees. What did you find on the healthcare side, like in the care that you were like, you know what? I'm gonna do this different because I didn't really agree with the way we did it collectively to what I saw. What was that? What hole did you see healthcare or care wise?
Just being attentive to their needs and wants, not saying this is what we offer, take it or leave it. Trying to make a plan that was best for them, tailored to them. When I first started my business, I didn't have a minimum amount of hours. I had a client that needed 2 hours a day. So most home health agencies, you have to have like a 4 hour minimum. And I was like, you know what? We're gonna do these 2 hours. And it ended up turning into more hours, but just being flexible with the family, seeing what they need because they have to trust you too. It's a stranger coming into their house. So 9 times out of 10, they're gonna start with a little bit of hours or minimum hours and then work their way up. So and building that relationship, just being attentive to what they need, honestly.
Oh wow. Yeah,
Yeah.
y'all discussed something that I thought was super duper insightful on the Business Radio X. You discussed insurance companies, and I thought that was crazy because I did a show Shar on a build where I talked about the guy who shot the guy, the United Healthcare. Remember, he shot the and remember he shot the CEO. Right? Not that we advocate that, but he did shoot him.
Hmm.
But the reason behind him shooting him was these healthcare, these insurance companies are ripping people off.
Absolutely.
Now, now what I thought was interesting was the host was like, you were explaining to the host, you were like, yeah, not all insurance companies are created equal. And he mentioned Medicare. He was like, so is Medicare any good? You were like, no, because they don't want to give the amount of money for to cover the cost oftentimes.
Hmm.
Sure. Um, and I thought to myself, we see that, but Shar being in that profession, her owning a business, she really deals with that probably daily.
Hmm.
Dealing with what's some of those struggles like, Shar, dealing with the insurance companies and going, you know what I'm saying, going back and forth. Because you sound like you really are patient centered and you really care about your patients past, just the dotting the I's and crossing the T's.
So we've been dealing with since this current administration, clients' hours being dropped, like cut in half,
Mm.
reduced, and they already weren't getting enough hours to begin with. So I try to advocate, like, okay, maybe you need to switch insurances. Don't be afraid to switch insurances to get what you need, and then it's important that you set yourself up for success, like in your 20s and your 30s you start saving because I had a family member that ended up having a heart attack and a stroke. We didn't plan for that, like, but we had enough resources between our family. We were able to come together. But it's like you got to prepare for everything that can happen in life. So having a savings is important. Having assets, having a retirement fund, a high yield savings, like that stuff is important. Set yourself up for success because you don't know what's gonna happen. You could walk out there tomorrow and get hit by a bus, and who's gonna take care of you? So that was that was
Yeah.
important.
Wow. Yeah, whew, that's crazy. That is really, really crazy. That's crazy. Listen, we we putting the what did they say? The horse before the carriage, car before the you know what I'm saying. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna show you guys something beautiful. I want to show you guys. We're going to go to Char's website, right? And we're gonna have Char walk us through this thing because it's so beautiful, so excellent. And guess what? You guys can go right to it and see what services that Char has that you guys can utilize, right? Because hey, we all have a family member and that might be getting elderly, maybe they have insurance, maybe they don't have the best insurance. Shar works with everybody, but Shar, I'm gonna let you kind of direct us. This is the website. So tell us, could you kind of explain what it is we got going on or what the service is, what the people gonna see when they come here?
Okay, so I just want to say to my all my new entrepreneurs, start where you are. I didn't start like this. I had a Wix website. Oh, it was terrible. It was terrible. That's where I was at. So just start. I'm just putting that disclaimer out there. But so I paid someone for this website. It looks a lot better. But this first thing is just our years of experience, showing that we get you results. We're passionate. I wanted to emphasize we have quality and compassionate care. A lot of these agencies have never worked in any healthcare establishment, which I thought was surprising. Um, so that's what sets us apart because we actually have been in the healthcare field. We know, from an admission, from a discharge, what it takes. So this is just our values, our vision, and our mission to provide you the best quality care, starting from hiring our employees all the way to giving you tailored services that you may need that you may not be able to get at other agencies. So
That is sweet. That is sweet. And are these all of the services? These are the care services that you offer, Shar?
yes, yes, yeah. These are our services. So we offer CNA services, nursing services, non-medical, a ton of service. And we just added CPR on there because a lot of loved ones are not CPR certified. So we want to get them certified in the home. We're able to do that. So if something happens when you're in the home, you can provide CPR to your loved one.
Oh wow, that's
Hmm.
that's something else. Shar, I'm a jokester now. You gotta
Okay.
forgive me because I see pet therapy now. Are y'all massaging the Labradors or I see I see pet therapy. What is that? Shar, break that down.
So
Shar.
pet therapy, there have been studies where, pets have help with depression.
That's true.
And
That's true.
I was one of those people. I was like, I don't know about that until I had a pet. I had a pet a couple years ago. I ended up, getting rid of it. But pet therapy is really a thing. It helps with depression because a lot of times older people they forget they feel like they're forgotten. They get put
Right.
in facilities or they're in
Right.
a senior center and you may have someone check on them maybe once a week, once a month, if all. Some of them don't even have kids or the kids don't talk to them. So pet therapy, dogs, cats, helps with depression and changes their mood and makes them feel like they still have purpose. They're
Mm.
not forgotten. So
That's crazy. That's crazy.
mhm.
No, that's good. Like I know they have. I'm just joking. I gotta give you a hard time, Shar, but
Yeah.
they do have service animals, right? I see it. You see it everywhere, right? You see
Hmm.
service animals at the airport. You see service animals at the grocery store. You see service animals wherever. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's absolutely a legitimate service that you guys offer. That's sweet.
Hmm.
uh Errands and transportation, preparation and serving meals, medication reminders, dressing and bathing. Y'all bathing? You bathing the people?
Oh yeah.
Sorry.
Oh yeah. We get
Wow.
down because some
I
people
see.
some people have had strokes. They can't bathe themselves.
Right. They might
Yeah.
have one side might be
Yep. Or they might
wow.
be bed bound, they can't even get out the bed. So, oh
Mm.
yeah, we do it all. We do it all.
Wellness care, exercise. Now, what is this Blaircare news, Char? You mean to tell me that I can subscribe to a newsletter, Char? Y'all got a newsletter?
So we try to do like a blog every few months, just updating, just giving information. It's more informational, if anything, about different things, UTIs. What else have we done? Inflation. That's a big one right now. Everything's high. So with our private pay customers, a lot of them are like, we want to get the services, but we can't afford this. So that's when we step in and try to help them navigate with the insurance agencies. But we try to do a blog every few months to educate our loved ones, educate the family and strangers. You can come on there and read the blog about strangers. I mean, not about strangers, but if they want to know more about a certain topic, more about Blair Care, that's where you can go on our website.
Oh wow, look at this, y'all. Finding the right home health agency for your loved one requires careful consideration to ensure they receive the best possible care. That's the truth, y'all. Y'all know
Hmm.
y'all got some old people, you know what I mean? Grandma, grandpa, Uncle Bud, Aunt Lucy, whoever it is. The importance of medication reconciliation in healthcare, nurturing dignity, the importance of senior care. Wow, look at this, y'all. Man, so not only are you offering services, you are educating the community and maybe even the family members of these clients or potential clients.
Hmm.
Wow, that's
I'm
crazy,
a,
Shar.
I'm a, I'm a nurse at heart, so that's one of the main things we do is educate.
For
So
sure. For
yeah.
sure. Now, Shar, I heard you're talkative. I see you're expressive. You got this stuff going on. While I'm gonna go to the I see there goes her I'm sorry, Shar, I'm all over the place. This
Okay.
is the contact information, y'all. Y'all see it on here where it says you can call her today. They're available 7 days a week.
Hmm.
2180 Satellite Boulevard, Suite 400, Duluth, Georgia, 397. And her email is down there. Y'all make sure y'all get that, Shar, because healthcare is something that's not going away, brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, uh, cousins and relatives. You're going to always need healthcare, and you want to make sure that you get the best possible service. One thing before I ask you this next thing, or we discuss something else, I was in
Okay.
the Air Force, and right before I got out, Shar, I worked in public health, which is a hospital job. I worked in a hospital, and we had a commander's call, and that's where all of the flight, everybody in the hospital comes together and listen to the commander. We go over slides. It's like training, right?
Okay.
Hospital training.
Hmm.
And he asked us, he said, what do y'all think causes the most uh medical malpractice, the most lawsuits? What do y'all think it is? Y'all think it's medical malpractice? What do y'all think? We messing up. Everybody was like, oh, it's gotta be malpractice. He was like, wrong. It's bedside manners. He
Yep.
said people sue because they are not getting the service that they need. He said, and that's totally within our governance.
Hmm.
We have control over that, y'all. Do you see that?
Yep.
Now, why did I tell that story with Shar and Blair Care? Because what you guys are witnessing is an entrepreneur who takes all of that into consideration and puts it into her business and gives you products and services that reflect that. Is that true though, Shar? People, the malpractice,
And
the
just
complaints.
simply, I'm sorry, we messed up, or just listening. Everybody's in a rush to get the job done. Nobody wants to listen. The patient
Mm,
knows more about what's going on with their body than you do. They're
mhm.
in their body, so just listening to them.
Oh wow. That's
Hmm.
crazy. We're gonna come back to this inflation in home care a little bit later, y'all. But yeah, so I think we went over the services. Yep. Okay. So we went over everything, the tab. All right. And I like what she told the young entrepreneurs. Start where you are, do what you have. Because yeah, you don't have to be great um to start, but you got to start to be great, right?
Yep.
Now, one thing I want to address, Shar, is you talked about being kind of a reserved person. And this goes into the more business, the entrepreneurial side.
Hmm.
As an entrepreneur, you said you really had to step out of your shell. You really had to step out. Because I think the story that you gave was you were at an office, you were somewhere, and you were at the beauty salon, I want to say it was.
Hmm. Yep.
And you end up talking to somebody, and just that friendly conversation turned the client for you,
Hmm.
and networking. So as an entrepreneur, how has that forced you to come out of your shell, Shar?
Whew. So I'm one of those type of people. I don't like to bother people. I just don't. people have a lot of stuff going on in their day-to-day life, and I just don't want to be a bother. So I joined a networking group, and we meet every Tuesday where we have to we have to stand up, talk about our business, pitch our business. And the first couple of weeks, I was struggling. Like, I knew about my business, but I was just so nervous. Like, I was like, why am I so nervous? And it helped me build confidence to talk about my business more. And it's like, you don't know who's listening. If you tell someone, at least one person a day about your business, that's that can be a change to you don't know who needs services. Everyone knows someone that needs some services.
That's right.
So just open your mouth and talk about it. And the thing is, I would always talk about other people's businesses. They would ask me, oh, where'd you get this from, or where'd you get that from? Happily. But when it came to my business, I don't know, I was shy, scared, or what, but I just didn't want to bother people. I felt like I didn't want to bother them with my business. But now, oh, I'm shooting my shot every chance I get. Every chance I get. Yep.
You better shoot it. And I like what you said, coming out of your shell, y'all. That's one thing. Being an entrepreneur forces you to do that. You have
Mhm.
to utilize those skills that make you uncomfortable, right? If you don't like to talk to people, or you might even like to talk to people, right? It's like comedy. It's a difference between being funny to a group of friends and standing up on a stage doing stand up.
Right.
That's totally different. In the same vein as an entrepreneur, it's a difference between talking about your business on a, you know what I mean, just casually, than pitching your business saying, hey, this is what I do. This is what I can do for you. And how about you try me out? So that's wonderful. But you talked about, and you just said it, networking,
Mhm.
going to networking. So networking really helps then, huh, Shaw?
Oh
Going to,
man, I should have been doing this. I probably would have been a lot further in my business. I was one of
mm,
those people. I don't need to network, but I've seen in person, like, networking will get you in rooms. Your degree, it don't matter how smart you are.
I know that's right.
Yeah, because you have people that are literally like handpick you based off your relationship that you have with them, whether you got all the credentials or not. So it's like networking will put you in rooms. Money, degrees can't. Status, like, you got to network. If you want a successful business, you got to network. Hmm.
Wow, that is something else. Shaw, let me ask you something. And I know you're a lifelong student, right? I know that
Hmm.
you had to, you can't be, dull in the brain doing what you doing.
Yeah,
Uh are you a huge reader? And what are you reading? Like, well, first, are you a reader? Like, do you like can you sit down, Shar, and just be like, you know what?
I love to read. I love to read. I feel like I don't read enough now because of my schedule. I was reading. What am I reading? The Five Husbands or something. Some book. It's like a non. It's a fictional. I got to get through it though. I don't have enough time. Someone told me to start listening to audiobooks, but I actually like the physical. I love to sit down with a book and read. But my schedule is just so crazy now. But yes, I love to read. I love, love, love reading.
That's something. She said the five husbands. So that's clearly nonfiction, right,
Yeah,
Shar?
I'm trying to get into more non-fictional. I just read what's her name? What's Tupac's
Afeni Shakur.
I read her book. Her book was really good. I just read her book.
She did. I think Jasmine Guy wrote it with her, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yep, that was a really good book. I read that a
Hmm.
couple months ago, and now I'm reading a non-fictional or fictional book. So
That's dope. That's
I'm a
super
slow
dope.
reader because of my schedule, but yeah, if I could just read all day, I love to read.
Reading is dope. It's fundamental to
It
readers are
is.
leaders. Readers are leaders, y'all. We are what we see. Shar, you told me about your parents. You told me about helping your grandma. And obviously, it reflects in your business that you care about people and you want to give people the quality that they deserve, not necessarily just making them a number, right?
Mhm.
Who inspired you to be an entrepreneur? Like, who did you see? Because oftentimes, sometimes people, right? Sometimes people don't have examples of entrepreneurs. Sometimes people just read people's stories and be like, damn, I want to do that. Like you said about your cousin, she really motivated you. You were like, whoa. well, who was like your cousin on the entrepreneurial tip? Who did you see? And it could be anybody. It could be a family member. It's it's always good if it's somebody local that you could touch. But if it was somebody abstract that you read about, who really said, who was that you saw that said, you know what, that entrepreneurial thing sounds like it's all right. Who was that person for you, Shar?
Honestly, there's not a lot of entrepreneurs in my family, so I didn't get that. I knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I just didn't know how I was going to do it. It was just one of those things I just dreamed about. But honestly, it wasn't until I moved to Georgia that was like the game changer when I seen black people that look like me, entrepreneurs running multi-million dollar businesses. I'm like, dang, we can do this. Reading their stories, joining networking groups and going and networking with people and seeing like this lady looked just like me and she running a multi-million dollar business. I'm like, okay. So I don't know if it was someone specific, but definitely moving from my small town, moving to Georgia and seeing the black excellence down here, it was a game changer for sure.
Oh wow. So it wasn't a person, it was a place.
It was a
And it
place.
can, yeah, and it can and it can be that. Like, yo, that's
Mhm.
pretty profound, y'all. It's not always a person with one singular example. Sometimes it's a collective where
Mhm.
you get in a place and it's like, damn, these people are moving and grooving. They're not just selling with corporate. They're like, you know what, we're gonna take it past. And when you got down here, you were like, yeah, I gotta do this. Cause I think that where is it? I always, whenever I don't go down there much, you probably don't. Well, you might not either, but Buckhead, whenever I go down there, that's real affluent. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
I always
Mhm.
see people, and you see, like it's a couple of it's from what I've seen, Shar. It's mostly healthcare businesses in Buckhead. Like you might have a dermatology clinic, you might have a med spa, you might have a nurse practitioner practice,
Mhm.
and they're black owned and or a legal practice, a lawyer. You know, it's. I know you see it, Charlotte, when you travel all over the city. You guys in Atlanta, you see billboards with black lawyers everywhere,
Mhm.
and so and typically they own their own firm, like they're not working for anybody. You know, so man, absolutely, Shar, absolutely. So, Shar, what challenges? I know we all over the place. I appreciate this. What challenges can you tell people about to expect and that you've had as an entrepreneur and how you work through them with home health care? What challenges have you had?
So in the beginning, you have to, unless you have like a big budget, I didn't have a big budget, you have to play many roles. And sometimes you're going to have 15, 20-hour days and you might not even get paid for that. You got to keep going. You got to be persistent, consistent, and don't stay in the wins too long. That's one thing I would get one win and I just was celebrating and not realizing, okay, you're running a business, you got to keep going and structure your business. That's what I said in a previous interview. Structure your business now like it's a multi-million dollar business. Don't say, oh, I don't need this now because I'm not making that much money. Mm-mm. The first year I did my business taxes, oh, it was a mess. It was a mess. I had stuff in my email, stuff over here, stuff over there. And I was just like, "Oh, I can't do this. I can't like it was terrible." I was so stressed out that first tax year because I didn't have a bookkeeping system. So I had receipts over here. It was a mess. So get a bookkeeping system and if you can't afford that, go to Excel. It's
Mm.
always a way. Figure it out. But run your business now like you're making millions of dollars. It will save you in the long run. That's what I would say.
Yeah, them business taxes, they like cheap wine.
Yeah.
You know, you take it in and then later on it shows up, you know, like, hey, you know what I mean? Like at the most
Mhm.
inconvenient time, you be like, oh wow, oh
It'll just
no.
show up. It knocks you out.
Yeah, it'll knock you out. It'll knock you out. You end up owing, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And IRA, it's three people. What Luther on set it off say, it's three people I don't mess with. The I, the aura, and the S.
facts.
And they want their money, buddy. They
Yes.
want it, they want it
And they
big
gonna
time.
get it, whether you want to give it to them,
Oh
and they
yeah.
gonna add. They gonna add they money on
The
top.
interest, oh for sure. Every day that you don't pay them,
Mhm.
they tacking on interest. And
Yeah.
if you do it long enough, they'll put their hand in your pocket. They'll be
Oh
like,
yeah.
oh you don't
Oh
have
yeah.
no. They go
Yeah.
right in that bank account and cease them assets.
Yes. I've had some fun times with the IRS. I don't play with them either.
Yeah, they not cool they not cool at all. Look,
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna show you guys because we're gonna get into another portion of the interview, but I want to show you guys. Sharp, I'm gonna show them your Instagram. I'm gonna
Okay.
show them. We already showed them Blair Care. But while I'm pulling it up, can you tell the people any events that you have, any plugs? Can you talk about, how they can get in contact with you, where you're going to be speaking, any place that people, any handles that you have where people want to, hear from Shar, get in touch with Shar, see what Shar is doing with Blair Care? Can you talk about that while I'm pulling this up?
Yes. So if you want to reach us, our website is www.blaircarehealth.com. We're located in Duluth, but we do service the 7 surrounding counties, such as Henry, Gwinnett, Forsyth. Call us. We probably service your county. Our telephone number is 770-239-1770. And we are also working on getting certified so we can service kids. So if you know some kids or children that's disabled that may need our services, reach out to us because we will soon be certified to take care of your loved ones as well.
That is wonderful. That is wonderful. Listen, I wanted to pull up the Instagram because the Instagram is kind of like a hub, you guys. From the Instagram, you can get to everywhere, right? If you look here, you see, okay, this is Blair. Let me click on here. See Blair Care Home Health, right?
Mhm.
And you'll see right here, that'll take you right to the official website. And yeah, man, you see, things that are going on, that information. Oh, look, it's the lovely Shar. The mogul right there. It's Shar. So yes, you guys make sure that you guys stop by there and patronize, because again, healthcare is something that's not going away. It is one of those essential occupations, like, right, in the military, when everybody's off, I was essential personnel. So that means when other personnel didn't come in, I still had to come in. That's healthcare. That's because there people, you don't really say there's a limit when people stop getting sick. People are
Right.
always going to get sick. So you're
Person.
always going to need, yeah, you're always going to need uh uh Shar services. And she is such a great person. This is
Thank
my beloved
you.
neighbor. Listen,
Thank
y'all know what time it is. This is that time of the interview where we get to go into the lead with logic niche. Listen, this is how I tell people. This is what I say to people. I take the mundane, controversial, and sensational, and through objective data, facts, books, researched articles, peer-reviewed journals, documentaries, documentary clips, and sometimes even other interviews, right?
you.
Uh, we extract the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding so that people can live life in 3D and enhance their understanding. So we talk about different things that are buzzing, different things that are going on in the world, right? Those topics that people cringe, people hesitate. They really don't talk about it at the water cooler, at the beauty salon. Maybe they don't like to talk about it because they don't want no nothing to erupt in the barbershop. They don't want nobody to be throwing hands. So we talk about we talk about it here on Leave of Logic. But listen, so Shar, since I got you, I'm gonna pull something up because something I think it's dope that you have a blog. That is awesome because it allows people. She's hitting different sensories, you guys, right? Because you can read and see what she's doing. You can read something article to get more deeper, nuanced and complex information. That is all wonderful, and I definitely love to read. Um, So the topic I want to talk about, we talked about this administration. Now, if you would have to be up under a rock to not know I really say in November of 2024, that's when it really kicked off. The stock market shot up, right? In
Mhm.
November 2024. A lot of people were made wealthier that day, you guys, right? If you had stocks, you should have checked your portfolio because you probably gained a few $1,000s. Remember, Shar said, setting yourself up in your 20s and 30s, so in your 40s, 50s, and 60s, you can kind of wind down, go downhill.
Mhm.
Um, but there is a balance, right? It hadn't all been, a bullish stock market. There have been some things that have been cut out, right? We have seen where the Department of Education, they're talking about doing away with the Department of Education.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing where they're talking about what tariffs and taxes, things of that sort. And the one thing that I saw here was inflation. Inflation in home care, the pressure on older adults and family caregivers. Shar,
Mm-hmm.
I would love to ask you, how has, and I think we talked about, you said your group had already been offered like minimum or not as much time. But with this new administration in, how have you really seen it not only affecting your business, but the healthcare industry in general? Can you talk about that, Char?
Um, the people that have saved, they're running through their savings more because things are expensive. I've had private pay clients just simply call me and say, "Listen, we have to stop services because we can't afford this anymore." And it's
Mm.
unfortunate. Um, because you don't want to lose clients because of that, because you know they still need care. Um, so we've just been trying to work with them, trying to like maybe reduce hours, but still trying to get that care in the home and trying to do different things to help them out. Do referral programs, do like discounts when they first sign on, just trying to ease the blow because it is expensive. And everything in it is expensive now, just not home care, life. And seeing clients get their hours reduced, we try to navigate them to different insurances where they might have more coverage and get more hours. But honestly, with this new administration, we don't know where Medicaid and Medicare is going to take us. So we're kind of just like waiting and seeing what's going to happen, honestly.
Mm. You ain't never lied, Char, because
Mhm.
it's uh it's on the chopping block. They're gutting it out. I saw, Char, where the state of Georgia made, I want to say, I think they made Medicare a statewide thing. They
Mhm.
took it. You saw that they took it from the federal government, and now it's in the hands of the state. Which, you guys, what that does is it takes a lot of the different providers that are located all over. Now they can be placed in places that are hard for maybe those people to reach. So a
Mhm.
person might have gone to the corner CVS to get their drugs. Now they got to go 10 miles to get their drugs. Well, what if they don't have a car? What if they don't have transportation? Now it's a challenge. It's a unexpected and a sometimes unnecessary challenge. So
Absolutely.
so I saw that and I was like, wow. So I like what you're doing here. The rising cost of home health, of home care, the impact on family caregivers, strategies for managing rising costs, and the conclusion. This is wonderful, Shar, because
Mhm.
I'm sure, yeah, you just said they had to cut a lot of costs, strategies. They had to cut care, strategies for managing rising costs. So you're giving people different ways to retain not
Mhm.
only just your services, but healthcare services in general that they might need. How'd you come up with that, Shar? How did you?
So I'm always thinking of different topics, and I'm not gonna say I watch the news a lot, but I watch it enough to know what's going on in the world, and I take it from real life. What's affecting me? What's probably affecting me is affecting my clients.
Mhm.
So it's not enough to just have a blog that's not really what's going on with the times right now. Trying to keep up with the times to actually tell people, it is help out there. This is a difficult time. They don't want to say we're in a recession, so but we're gonna figure this out together to help navigate this space.
Right, right. Another thing, Shar, the tariffs. Now, obviously, the tariffs have really hit everybody's business because if we now have to pay taxes on imports, and
Hmm.
America's really not a production nation anymore. We are more or less consumer. That's why we have so much debt. We have to borrow to get goods that we need. How has that affected your business? The tariffs, has it affected your business? Let me say that.
It hasn't really affected my business as of right now. I can say I'm blessed by that. But in the future, it probably will. Our private pay clients.
Hmm.
because things are going to be more inflated, more expensive. They're not going to, first things they're cutting out is things they feel like they don't need. That if it's food or home care, it's
It's
going
gonna
to
be
be
home care.
yeah, they're going to cut home care out. So that's unfortunate, but I mean, we're there to help them navigate, and we're gonna figure this out together. This is not the first time, our economy has been like this. I'm a millennial,
Sure.
so we've lived through this several times.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
that's right. That's right. You're absolutely right. The crash of 2008,
mhm,
when that happened, that was devastating for a lot of people.
mhm,
And then the stock market crashing, right? The Great
yep,
Depression. I tell people, Wall Street is on sale, y'all. Whenever it tanks like this, whenever it's a bear market, meaning it goes down. Um, if you have any extra funds, it would be good. Or if you can come together with people, if y'all can get a group, an investment group, that's always good because just like remember with COVID, Shar, remember how the stock market was like a lot of people made a lot of money when the stock
mhm,
market, with the stock market during COVID because, things were cheap, people were investing in vaccines, you know what I'm saying? Just
mhm.
different things that apply or were relevant to that time. So, yeah. Um, what else can I get into? What else can I ask you? What else can I ask you? You know what? Think you know what, Shaw? I think
Is
that's
that
about an
it?
hour. That's it, man. It went by fast, right, Shaw?
Yeah, it
It went
did.
by quick. You did good too. Yeah, it went by real quick, man. I like I said, oh, I know what I can ask you. What were your thoughts on, and we kind of talked about this before we cut the cameras on. What were your thoughts on when the guy, obviously we both know it was awful when that CEO of, I think, was it United Healthcare?
Yes, United. Mhm.
We both know that that was awful that the United Healthcare CEO was killed. We would never, advocate that. We also understand that insurance, like you had told me, like insurances are not created equal, and some people have a huge and a strong distrust for them. Knowing what you know about insurance companies, not the murder, because I know how you felt about the murder, right? But how did you feel about the whole system? Or were you surprised, that people would act out and enrage in that way due to the healthcare system and how it's structured? Let me say that.
No, you put people under pressure, they're gonna explode eventually. Um, People are tired of paying for something, and they feel like they're not getting what they deserve. For example, I had a flood in my house last year, and they didn't even pay for. I lost so much in damages. It's crazy. And I was
Wow.
insured, but they just a lot of stuff they didn't cover. So I had to pay thousands of dollars out of pocket. And it's unfortunate. It's like, you know, I'm thankful that I had insurance because I would have had to come out of more, but it's really like, what am I paying for if I still got to come out of pocket thousands and thousands of dollars? So, you put people under pressure, eventually somebody's gonna explode. And I don't condone killing people.
Right.
Um,
Right.
but I do think our healthcare system, it needs we need to break it down and build it back up, basically. Yeah.
I can dig it. You know what? I know what I can ask you. I do know what I can ask you, Shar, before we go.
Okay.
I did a bill called The Holy Trinity of Capitalism. I don't know if you've seen it. And what I did was each Monday, I talked about the three industries that are interconnected that we cannot escape. And one of them we deal with every day. That's the food industry, that's the healthcare industry, and the pharmaceutical industry. Now, you are a healthcare worker, you're a nurse, you're an entrepreneur, and you're a healthcare provider. What are your thoughts on those three industries and how they affect your business and what you see your clients and all that good stuff? Because I see you got a bunch of articles, and I'm pretty sure if I go through them, you've talked about that maybe in pieces. So, what are your thoughts? Does that make sense?
Yeah. I tell people, and I have to tell myself this too. You are what you eat.
That's right.
You are what you eat. Like, I remember in my 20s, I felt like I needed something sweet every time after I ate. And then they told me I was pre-diabetic in my 20s.
Ooh,
It's crazy. Yeah. So I had to like change my eating habits. And
Yes.
you hear a lot of times people say, "Oh, diabetes runs in my family." No, it doesn't. Your food habits run in your family.
Talk about it. Woo.
Yeah. So it's I think being proactive. A lot of times we're reactive. The pharmaceutical, the healthcare industry is reactive. So okay, you had a stroke or you had a heart attack. Okay, we're gonna give you a pill for that. But we're gonna give you another pill because this pill is gonna have a side effect. So it's just even if you can't go to the gym, get out and get some fresh air, sunshine, walk, eat better. All that fast food, and I'm guilty of it too, because
We
it's
all
easy
are.
to go through the drive-through when you're busy, and
Mhm.
but your arteries clogged, and you having heart attacks and stuff in your 40s and your 50s, and now we're seeing people having heart attacks younger. Diabetes, people losing limbs and toes in their 20s. It's crazy. It's like it's our food. It's our food. Our food is exercise. That's all I can say. It's
Yeah.
something as simple as just exercising and just changing your diet up little by little. Eat fruits and vegetables. That's it.
It's funny. Just today, I saw something that made me tell my children something. Jilly, somebody, I saw her on my Instagram feed. She was talking about how she's not a person who eats until she's full. She eats until she's full and she doesn't try to force herself to gorge down. She said, when I was growing up, my family didn't make me clean my plate. Right. She said, I got a girlfriend who she cleans her plate, but it really trained her mind to overeating.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself, that's exactly what it does, Shar.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're thinking, right, don't waste no food. That's our
Absolutely.
justification. You don't
Absolutely.
want to waste no food. Well, you don't have to waste it. You
Mm-hmm.
can eat it later. You don't have to make them. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And I told my babies just today, from now on, take all you want, but eat all you take. Not maybe not in that sitting, but you'll eat it later. But how about starting small and then just getting a little bit more instead of getting a big one and feeling like you have to? Because, like you said, when we were kids, Shar, I don't remember children being as obese as they are. I don't remember autism being as common as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, what is the correlation? What is
The kids are
uh,
not going outside.
that too?
I mean, I see the kids outside in our neighborhoods, but
Mhm,
like
mhm.
just in general, they want to be on the tablets. And it's
They
like,
do.
no, you need to get outside and get on the bike. When we were younger, we was all across town on our bikes. Like,
That's right.
yeah, our bikes was our cars.
That's
And
right.
I think that's the difference. And then they're just eating a lot more. I think a lot more preservatives are in our food now.
Yes.
So you got somebody that's just sitting there, not doing, not playing any sports, not getting outside, and the diet is worse. So the diabetes is coming sooner and sooner. Kids are being diagnosed more, and yeah, we have more obese people. And then we didn't have Starbucks growing up either. Not to say anything, take anything for Starbucks because I love a good Starbucks every once in a while, but like the amount of sugar and stuff that's in that is crazy.
It is crazy. We get like we would get like a matcha venti green tea.
Mhm.
And I looked it up. So I was like, anytime something's too good, I'll be like, this ain't good for me.
Yeah, it's
This
too
ain't
yeah.
good. This ain't good for me. Because they putting sugar in it because they want to keep you hooked. Sugar is
Mhm.
addictive, y'all.
It is.
It's gonna
It
keep
is.
you coming back. It's gonna keep you coming back.
It's
When I
crack.
looked up, it's crack. Yeah. When I
Mhm.
looked up, I got a book up there, Shar. It's called the Home Health, Home Hood Health book, Health Handbook, the Home Health Handbook, something
Mhm.
like that. And it talks about, it has all these articles. And in there, it has an article talking about with the studies, with the research showing how sugar is absolutely addictive, more addictive than crack, junk food. It's in everything that people eat. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
But
Mhm.
that matcha venti, when I looked it up, it was like 50 grams of sugar. You're only supposed to have like what, 24 grams of sugar a day,
Something like that.
something
Mhm.
like that. And it's like, man, people are eating all that sugar, and it's like, dang. But
Yeah, I have people come to my house, and especially when I have kids over there, like, where the snacks? I used to love snacks. Like, I can't, I'll snack too, but usually I'm snacking. I'm outside of my house. I don't keep a lot of snacks in my house
right.
because being diagnosed pre-diabetic in your 20s is scary.
Shar, honestly, I was diagnosed as a pre-diabetic. That's what really made me turn my health. That's why you see a lot of uh the health stuff that I put out there on, you know what I'm saying? I gotta start putting more of me out there, but I put more examples of what my mentality is and what my psychology is. We
Mhm.
shouldn't be eating 3 meals a day. We shouldn't be eating carbs. We have to know what insulin and melatonin is and how our bodies break down. You know what I'm saying, Shar? What makes us get diabetes? What foods, what all fruits aren't created equal. Like you said, just like all insurance companies aren't created equal. All fruit, there are some fruits that will put your sugar insulin level, it'll spike it, like
Mhm.
pineapples. You know what I'm saying? It'll shoot it way up there.
Yep.
So just trying to, because once you get these things, Shaw, you got them. And
And people don't take it serious, and I've seen so many people lose their feet, their
go
toes.
blind.
Yes, like people think it's a joke. Oh, okay, I got diabetes, and they just keep on eating until they cutting your leg off, and you begging them not to cut your other leg off. Like, I know that food tastes good, but it's not that good to
You
be
paying
losing.
for it.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You're gonna either eat healthy now and live a better life, or you're gonna pay for hospital bills. You wanna pay a little bit more for healthy food, or you wanna pay for hospital bills. Either way, you're gonna pay. So
You
you
sound
gotta
like my mom.
choose.
So I'm gonna
Yeah.
give you something that my mom gave me, and I know you'll probably be telling people you either pay on the front end or you pay on the back end, but you gonna
Absolutely.
pay.
But you're
But you
gonna
gonna
pay.
pay. You either pay for that healthy food or you pay for them pharmaceuticals to keep yourself alive, right?
Mhm.
Make food your medicine before medicine becomes your food.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Listen, man, this is a wonderful. I always tell people to stay back because I'm on, when I end the show, you can stay put, Sean, just real quick.
Okay.
Listen, y'all, another epic episode, another great interview, man. And y'all have been introduced to another
Thank
uh
you.
great entrepreneur that is offering services that really cares about the community. You guys, she's educating y'all, she's offering you services, and she's gonna work with y'all in this administration. You're not gonna find that too many places, y'all. Most people just trying to get their money.
Mhm.
Sister's trying to offer you something more than money. She's trying to offer you that care, that long-term care. So I want y'all to make sure that y'all follow up and follow Miss Shaw with Blaircare. Y'all, you got family members going over there and hit her up. And also, like I'm always doing about my business, like, hey, leading with logic. I want you guys to please, we got hats, hoodies, and tees, please. And by the way, lead with logic is an acronym, y'all. Y'all get behind the movement, letting enlightenment and divinity win in this harsh level of God's infinite creation. Lead with Logic 7, www.leadwithlogic7.com. Y'all head on over there. We got a lot of good things. We got a lot of things for sale. So listen, man, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Like I always tell people, um, thank you, Sharp, for coming. And I always tell people, man, peace and love, and may we meet again in the light of understanding. Kick back from me, Sharp. Peace and love, y'all.
Right. Thank you.